Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to see another topic. The topic name is an agreement in restraint of trade is void. So under the Indian Contract Act 1872, we have seen lawful object. After lawful object, we are going to see this now. So under this topic, we are going to cover the meaning of the agreement in restraint of trade is void and its exceptions. So first of all, I'll go with a small introduction or the meaning of the topic. So here, an agreement which interferes with the liberty of a person to engage himself in any lawful trade, profession or the vocation is an agreement in restraint of trade. Here see the word interferes means any agreement, means if any agreement is there between any two persons, if one party is interfering, or if one party is restraining, or if one party is controlling the authority or the profession or the trading activity of the another party, then it will comes and then it will be called as the agreement in restraint of trade. Here restraint means controlling, means no one's business should be controlled by the another person. No one should stop the business of the another person. For example, if A and C, I have written here example, Oaks and Company versus Jackson. Here these are the two peoples, Oaks and Company, and there was a Jackson. So in this case, there is a two persons. I'll read with the D is a person and the P is a person. The D and P are both the persons in this case. D agrees with the P that not to carry the same business of dressmaking. Means D says to P that you should not carry the dressmaking business after completing agreement with me. Agreement what you have entered for doing service to me, after completion of doing service to me, after completion of that agreement, you should not do the same business within the 100 miles. Like this, D said to the B, means D is controlling the D is controlling the profession of the P, right? What is the profession of the P here? Profession of the P is dressmaking, but D is controlling the P that you should not make the dresses within 100 miles, because I am doing this dressmaking business, you should not do that. Means one should not say to another person to that does not carry the trade or does not do the business. If anyone is saying like that, then that agreements will be called as a restraint of trade and that agreements will become the void. Means no one should control the business, profession or the trade of another person. Okay, so such if any agreements made like that, that agreements will be treated as a restraint of the trade, and such agreements will become the void in the eyes of the law. Okay, so this is the meaning of the agreement here. Restraint means controlling, okay. So an agreement which interferes with the liberty of the person to engage himself in any lawful trade, profession or the occasion is called an agreement in restraint of the trade. Means if any person interfering in the business, trade, occasion, profession of the another person, if such agreements are there, interfering the or disturbing the profession of the other person, then that agreements are called as a restraint of the trade, and such agreements are void. But there are some exceptions to that agreements in restraint of the trade. So for this rule, there are some exceptions. What are those exceptions? First one is statutory exceptions, that means sale of the goodwill. So here there is a case law called Gold Soul versus a Gold Man. So in this case law, there are the two persons, A and B are the two persons. So A want to sell his business to the A sold his business with the goodwill. Goodwill here means a reputation of the company represented in the value is called as the goodwill. Means value here means amount. So if any company sold its goodwill to the another person, sold its business and goodwill to the another person, then it cannot say that. Means so if any person sold his business, if P want to sold his business to B, means if P want to sold the business to the B along with the goodwill, means if P took the, if P want to sell business to B and B gives the amount of the goodwill and he purchases a business of the P, then after giving away his business, he should not, this P should not carry the same business in the similar area, because after giving away his business along with the goodwill, he starts the business, right? If he, after starting the business, if again this P candidate started the business, as he is a old person experienced in the business, the customers will go to P only. So that's why after selling the goodwill and business to the B, P should not start. Okay, P should not start the business in the same locality, because he is a old seller, the customers will attract to him only. So then if he started the business, then what is the use for the B to take over the business of the P? So that's why this is valid, even it is a exception to this agreement to agreement in restraint of the trade, but it is valid because there is some lawful thing is there in that's why. So after selling the goodwill, he should not carry out the same business in the same locality. So this is one of the case. So partners competing business, means if there are the, if A, B, C are the partners in the partnership firm. If A want to if A want to carry the same business, then he will be restrained, because as a partner of the firm may be restrained from carrying the similar business as long as he remains as a partner. So this is the statement. So whenever A, B, C are the partners, and A, B, C are the partners in some organization, but A want to carry the business separately, even even if he presents in this business, means if A should not carry the business after becoming the partner in this business, because he is already a partner in this business, and if he carries the similar business outside, that means he is doing the fraud things to B and C, because both the business are benefited to A only. So that's why A should not carry the other business if he is in the partnership with the A, B, C and A, B, C. Okay, so this is another one. And next one is the rights of the outgoing partner. Whenever a partner is going out of the business, he should not carry the same business. Means if he goes on a retirement, he should not carry the same business within some limited localities, because that may affect the existing partnership. Okay, existing partnership firm. That's why outgoing partner may be restrained. And on dissolution, means whenever a partnership is dissolving, then all the partners will come to an agreement that they should not carry the specified that business within the specified limits and the specified period. So if the partnership is dissolving, then this is one of the condition. And the next one is the sale of the goodwill of the firm. Whenever the partners are selling the goodwill of the firm to another party from the outside, means that buyer will say that you should not carry the business within the localities, because as I said before, this sale of the goodwill, here P should not carry the business after selling the business to B, right? Okay, same like that only in this case also. After selling the goodwill of the firm, the previous seller should not carry on the business. So these are the conditions under the partnership firm. Next we will see with the exceptions under the common law. Means before we saw the statutory exceptions, and now we are seeing the common law. What are the common law imposing that exceptions? Service agreements. Service agreements, in this case there is a case law called Charles versus McDonald. In this case, A and B are the two parties. A and B are the two parties. A want to A and B are the two parties. A will enter into an agreement with the B that I will not work with the another person until I complete the service agreement with you. Means A is bound by the agreement with the B. Hence A should not do the service outside to any other persons except the B. That means, for example, if A and B are the two parties, A is an actor. So A promised to B that entered into an agreement with B that I will work for A said to B that I will work with you only. Then she has to, as a actor, she has to complete the agreement with the B. Then only she can enter into another agreement with another person, another director or anyone. So if she crossed that limit, means if she performed in the another means another show, instead of B, then B can claim then B can go to court and file a case against the A, because she has crossed the agreement. She has breached the conditions in the agreement, hence B can go to court and claim the damages. Okay, so service agreements will also comes under the exceptions only. Next one, trade combinations. Whenever the manufacturers or the traders making any agreement for the competition, means for fixing regarding the conditions in an industry for the price, that may not be price is binding, provided the agreement is interest of the parties themselves. Agreements limits the competition and it keeps up to the price are not valid. Whenever any agreements limiting the competition, means controlling the competition of the another business, and fixing the prices, very high prices, is not valid. But any agreements which are made with the mutual benefits, and which avoid the unhealthy competition is valid. But the agreements which are controlling the competition, means up prices, uprising means keeping the high prices, and agreements controlling the competition are not valid. Okay, these are against the against the market, right? One should not control the competition of the another, one should not fix the high prices. So these if these are done, then that will not be valid. But if the agreements are made for the mutual benefit of the traders, or if for controlling the unhealthy competition, such agreements is valid. So these are the cases which are against agreements. Again, agreements not to sell goods below a certain price is also restraint of trade. So these are against to the public interest. That's why these are restraint in trade. Okay, so if any agreements are made for the mutual benefit and for the controlling of the unhealthy competitions is also, even they are again, even they are somewhat a restraint of the trade, but they are valid because they are made for the mutual benefit and the controlling of the unhealthy competition. That's why if any agreements made between the manufacturers and traders in this case are valid. So this is a meaning of the agreements in restraint of the trade is void. And exceptions, two kind of exceptions, that is statutory exceptions and the one is a sale of the goodwill under part, and next one is a part under partnership act, and another exceptions under the common law, that is service agreements and the trade combination. So this is about this topic, friends. If you like my video, like, share and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me. And I received support from some people from yesterday video, so thank you for that, and please support me. Okay, thank you.